things when I was back at CIA or at Microsoft that at the time were like, oh man, I got to deal with this stuff and it's tough and it's pressure filled or blah, blah, blah. I can't even remember those things now, right? And I'm still alive. Okay, Ronin leaders, I wanted to show you something today. See this? It's a coin. See what it says on there? It says Memento Mori. And when you turn the back of it, it says, you could leave life right now. Now, Memento Mori is a Stoicism concept, which basically means just that. You could leave life right now. You could die right now. And I got this coin from the Stoic, Daily Stoic with Ryan Holiday. They sell a lot of these kinds of things. But this is, I keep this on my desk next to a little statuette of Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was a former emperor of Rome thousands of years ago, and he coined this term Memento Mori, that you could leave life right now. And why is that important? Because I think as human beings, we need to realize that we could indeed leave life right now. And that should hopefully color every aspect of your daily life. When you wake up in the morning and you're taking that first breath in of the day and you're alive and well, there's no guarantee that that same thing is going to happen 24 hours later or 6 hours later or an hour later. You could leave life right now. And why is that important? Because having that mindset, and a lot of people say, oh, that's morbid. You just think about death all the time. That's not the point. We all know that we can die someday, that we are going to die someday. That's one constant that we all have in common, is that we are all going to leave this earth one day. How we leave it, when we leave it, that's really up to God. That's up to fate. But at the end of the day, we're all going to die. Now, within that context of your life, how you live your life, that's a whole different subject. This is simply about a mindset that leads you to understand priorities and what's really important in life. All that crap on TV with the politics between the Democrats and Republicans, all the wars that are going on in the world, all the people you might have in your life that are either causing you pain or they are distractions and they don't really lend anything into your life. All those things mean absolutely nothing in the context of the fact that you're going to leave this earth someday. So if you have that mindset, this Memento Mori mindset, if you have that in your mind and in your DNA, then you only really think about the most important things in your life, your family, and your health, your well-being. You don't allow the chatter of the world to upset you. You know, there's so many people in life that get wrapped around the axle about what Trump is doing or what the Dems are doing or what's happening on YouTube and what so-and-so is saying about so-and-so and blah, blah, blah. And they get just wrapped around the axle of this stupid stuff. They don't realize that, okay, you could be upset about this and then get in a car crash. Somebody hits you and you're dead, right? If you could go back in time, let's say that happened, but you could go back in time and knew what was going to happen, how would that affect how you treated people? How would that affect what you let upset you during the day, right? The idiot that cut you off in traffic and you rant and rage about it and it just messes up your whole morning because you get to work and you're all upset because this idiot, cut you off or flipped you off or whatever. But what if you know that, you would never leave that office again. You were going to have a heart attack or something else happened. A workplace violence issue happened and you got killed. And if you could turn the pages back, would you have wanted to spend the last couple hours upset about some idiot cutting you off in traffic? Or would you let it go and think about your wife, your kids, your pets, your family, your mother, your father, right? Of course you would. So that's my point with Memento Mori. You could die tomorrow. I actually keep we'll do a snapshot of that. You could take it, you can look at it. But I have what they call a death clock on a Stoic app. And the death clock is very simple. It's, you take the average age of an American male, lifespan, right now is about 78, 79 years old. And you kind of put that into this thing, and it shows you based on your age. If you look at my death clock, I'll be 69 in August. Ostensibly, I'm gone from this earth within 10 or 11 years, right? Now, hopefully I'm going to live a lot longer than that, but I keep that on there, and it's a countdown clock, right? And it shows you, basically how many hours and minutes, days you have left, if this average lifespan is true. It gives me pause every morning. I can look at that and say, okay, let's say I only have 9 years, 10 years, 11 years left. How am I going to live my life? Am I going to worry about stupid things? Am I going to get so wrapped around the axle? There's so many people angry all the time. They look at the news, and if you're on your left, you hate everything the right is doing. If you're on the right, you hate everything on the left is doing. And you live your life just simmering about what Trump is doing or what somebody else is doing. Why? And if you could leave life right now, you let that dictate how you go through life and how you think about life. You can be a lot more calmer, and you have more priorities. The priorities should be your family, should be your health, should be your friends. And then the other flip side of that is that cut out the fat, as they say. Right? Those people that are destructive in your lives, that actually cause you to be upset or cause you to have disconsternation because you are just so upset about the things that they say and they do, and they're constantly a thorn in your side. Cut them loose. You don't need them anymore. I don't care if they're friends or family, what have you. Cut them loose, because you could die tomorrow. Why worry about people that bring nothing into your life, that give you nothing, right? That actually don't nurture you or sustain you or uplift you or support you. Why? Just get them out of your lives. Don't worry about them, And so Memento Mori is great because it cuts through the chatter, the wheat from the chaff, so to speak, right? And it gets to the heart of what it means to be a human being, what it means to be alive. And that simply means you are living each day to the fullest, and you are prioritizing those things that mean something. Now, if you're working, you're working and you're doing the best you can at work. You may have a lousy boss, you may have stupid coworkers, you may have unrealistic deadlines. We've all gone through that, right? Knocking your head against the wall does nothing. You have to deal with it. There have to be some resilience about it. But knowing that, guess what, sports fans? When you leave this earth, nobody's going to care about that. You certainly won't, because you won't be here. That puts things in perspective. So while you have to deal with the current bullshit and situation, and you deal with it, also know that this is finite. The things when I was back at CIA or at Microsoft that at the time we're like, oh man, I got to deal with this stuff, and it's tough, and it's pressure filled, or blah blah blah. I can't even remember those things now, right? And I'm still alive. So put that in the context of death, and put in the context of the finite aspect of what life is all about. So it's not morbid. It actually makes you more alive. When you think about Memento Mori, and when you think about the fact that you could leave life right now, it actually makes life better. It makes it more worth living to the fullest. Just thinking about that. Do I think about that 24/7? No. But in the morning when I wake up, do I think about it? Absolutely. So if I know that I'm dealing with some shit happening throughout the day that I'm going to have to deal with, I just think about, okay, I'll deal with it, but I could leave life right now. Why would I let it upset me, right? And so that's the whole key to Memento Mori. It's a philosophy that helps center you in terms of your life and how you think about life. And while some people, most people never want to think about death, because it's just, it's It's just a natural part of life, but we don't want to think about it. But we're all going to get there. So why not maximize that fact to make your current life better by living in the present, by maximizing your time with friends and family, by cutting out the people out of your lives that are destructive and that really muddy the waters and don't do anything to your life, and by just enjoying living, knowing that someday you will die. And then that also keeps you, when you're in front of the boob tube and you're listening to all this political clamor and all the racial issues, the economic issues, the wars and all that kind of stuff, all the people that are involved in all that, they're going to die too someday. Don't let it upset you. Mind your priorities, mind what's most important to you, and remember, Memento Mori. It's not a bad thing. It'll actually make you live a much better, richer, more fulfilling life. There you go. That's what I have. Talk to you later.
The number one fear in life, fear of dying.
Okay.
We spend all of our life putting it out there. I don't want to die. Do you know how you deal with that fear of dying? Practice for it.
Yeah.
Practice for it.
That's what these are about. Memento Mori.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so my rings are a symbol of Memento Mori, the remembrance of death and our own mortality, so that while tomorrow is never guaranteed, while we do not know what is in store for us tomorrow, while we do not know if we will even survive tomorrow, what we do know is we're here today, we're here now, we're here in the present, and what can we do now in the present to lead a more holy life? What can we do now for us as Christians and Catholics, what can we do to serve more Jesus completely with all of ourselves today?
I love it. You probably get people asking you about that.
Oh yeah, people freak out when they see the rings. A lot of people are like, what's going on? Why is he wearing these skulls? But you know, he's obsessed with death. And like, well, no, I'm not obsessed with death, but I'm very aware of my mortality and the ephemeral nature of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I struggle to do my very best to be a better person here and to live more fully present here, to serve God as I can and to be more holy. But you know, I trip every step of the way, flat on my face.
We all do. But that's great, because that's a daily reminder that life is temporal. There's going to be suffering. What do you do with it? What do you do with your suffering? We offer it up in union with Christ. And that blows my mind away to think that of Jesus, all of his suffering, he has left some room for you to participate. Why? He wants you to know him.
Yeah.
And he wants me to know him. And that's so beautiful. One last thing that I always think about here, and that is this. Archbishop Fulton Sheen said not only is it the number one fear and that the way to deal with it is to practice for it, but he also said that when we practice for it, we have to be conscious of the fact that we're participating with Christ. We're participating with him at that point. That's where it's an honor and it's joyful. And I can say in my own life, there have been times where I was going through an agony physically, and I offered it up, and something happened to me in the midst of it, where I literally felt a change, the love of God in my own life.